Thank you for clicking this video. My name is Nelson Kofi and you are welcome to the YouTube channel of the News God. Today we're going to have a brief discussion about the ongoing feud between the Attorney General of Ghana, who's also the Minister of Justice, I'm talking no other than Dr. Dominic Ayine, and the Member of Parliament for Gumwa Central Constituency, Honorable Kwame Asare-Obeng. Now these two have had a little back and forth, and we've seen it online and on our television screens. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to get into the crux of the matter and probably chime in my little 2 cents about it. So that's what this video is about. Now let's date back to 10th April when A+ made a series of damning accusations or allegations against the Attorney General. What he claimed was that the Attorney General was involved in some sort of corrupt activities back then in 2021 when the Sanitation and Population Levy was passed. If you don't know about this levy, it's a levy that was passed in 2021 to sort of curb the sanitation crisis that was going on and still going on. And a lot of money was made, from that levy, and according to A+, parts of that money had gone to some of the friends of Dr. Ayine due to Dr. Ayine's skewing of the committee to favor him and his close associates. I don't know if you get that, but I tried to explain it as best as I could, so it would be appropriate or profound to just read a little excerpt of the whole post so that we can get a better understanding of what he was saying. So I'm quoting this from his X account, dated 10th April when he made this post. Now let's get into it. Let's also remember how this whole arrangement was orchestrated. The current Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayine, while in opposition, went to great lengths to manipulate the drafting of the law. He schemed to reconstitute the leadership of the committee responsible just so he could gain control and structure the law in a way that would benefit his close associate. If Dr. Ayine attempts anything silly, I will expose him further. I'm only setting the stage for a fight. It is a trap. And trust me, you will lose. And something into bracket, I'll show you where you got money for the last one. Is that clue enough? So this seems like a threat. Can we call it a threat? But according to you, I don't know what you think it is, but you let me know in the comments what you think this is. But for me, this seems like a threat, right? But of course, Dr. Ayine is the Attorney General of Ghana, Minister of Justice. He's above everything else expected to hold some degree or the highest degree of the law. So if somebody like this is accused of breaking the law, obviously the stakes are high and emotions are high. And he has to come and defend himself or clear the air. And I think that's exactly what he did by addressing the situation head on in this press conference that was held to address some of the concerns about his prosecution. And so let's take a look at the video.
Men and women, as your Attorney General, I wish to assure you that I have sufficient reserves of integrity to continue to perform the task assigned me by His Excellency, the President of the Republic. I have never stolen before in my life and have never received a bribe in public office. All those who have dealt with me know this for a fact, and the President would not have appointed me his Attorney General if he had questions about my personal integrity. That is why it came to me as a big surprise when the Honorable Member for Gumwa Central, the Honorable Kwame Asare-Obeng, aka A+, took to social media to make spurious allegations against me, calling me corrupt and a thief. Besides the name calling, the Facebook post in its totality was a palpable falsehood. I was never involved in the passage of the sanitation levy, as I was not a member of the Finance Committee of Parliament, let alone to be in a position to influence the composition of the membership of the committee. And I have the Hansard as documentary support for what I'm saying. I have the votes and proceedings of Parliament. Unfortunately, I left them in the office. I think I have them here. Yes. So for the media, the report of the committee as well as the vote and proceedings are here. If you want to do some research on the matter that he alleged that I was involved and I channeled, I made sure that the membership of the committee was, changed, and then the monies from the sanitation levy were channeled to my friend, and so on and so forth. I'm not friends with whoever of the sanitation levy. But interestingly, A+ warned me in the post not to do anything silly and that he will come after me if I did. That is laughable. First of all, I do not act silly because I think through the consequences of my actions, not only for my person, but also for others. That is what we were taught in Notre Dame Minor Seminary, and I am proud to say, without fear of any contradiction, that I have kept faith with that principle. Secondly, the threat is laughable because I have nothing to hide. I am reliably informed that his basis of saying that I am corrupt and a thief is that I took campaign contribution from a businessman at East Legon known as Dr. Sledge, and that he also knows the people who donated pickups for my campaign. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if receiving donations for your campaign or getting a pickup for a campaign is thievery or corruption, then there are 276 thieves in Parliament, including the person who was making the allegation himself. So, ladies and gentlemen, if A+ has any evidence of corruption or thievery against me, I am challenging him today to call a press conference and present the evidence or present it to the police to investigate me. In contrast, the media should ask him about the silly thing that I was about to do, which frightened him so much into making that silly post about me. He should be asked what he knows about the National Service ghost name scandal and related matters. If he can give truthful answers to these questions, then Ghanaians will know why he took to social media to do what he did. But let him be warned that in my hometown of Zorongo, we do not fear mud being thrown at us. On the contrary, we walk into the mud to deal with the person doing the mud slinging. And I am prepared to walk into the mud with A+. Because what I have about him and the National Service scandal, he should come and tell you. I'm challenging him. He should come and tell you, the media. And
yeah, so there you have it. Now, A+ obviously called the bluff of the Attorney General, and he's come out to say boldly that he has had no hand whatsoever in all the allegations leveled against him by Kwame A+. So he has come out to say this, and he has also thrown a few shots, I must say, because if he said, if you watch the video closely or from start to finish, you'd notice that he said that A+ to come and say something about the NSS scandal, so seeming to make a suggestion that A+ has had a hand in that corruption scandal as well. That is the implication of that. Or am I the one reading it wrong? Am I the one misinterpreting that communication? But if that is what it is, then there's been there's been shots fired from both ends. Now let's listen, or let's read how A+ responded to this press conference extract. No, that is not true. What I said was, because according to my information, you went to beg for 500,000 cedis that you were going to use it to bribe the appointment committee of Parliament. And for your information, you are not the only one. If you're an old fool, I'll research you. I don't think the unprintable words are necessary. And that is pretty much underhanded, backhanded, and I don't condone to this, so I wouldn't even read that to the end. Now, I feel like, I believe both of us, or you and me, have noticed some sort of inconsistencies between the post A plus made on the 10th of April and then just yesterday. But I'll leave that to you to decide, because I had the task of having a balanced conversation with you. So you let me know in the comment section what you think about this. Now, so he has replied. And the Attorney General, during the press briefing, made some really, really interesting points. He obviously came out to defend himself, but he also stated emphatically that he was not involved in whatever A plus was talking about. That begs the question, who is telling the truth and who is lying? Because I don't think two truths can coexist in this matter, because this one is saying something to the left, someone is saying something to the right. So who is lying and who is telling the truth? And I don't think that A plus wouldn't come out on authority to say something as damning as this. There has to be something back in this. There has to be some, like they say, there's no smoke without fire, right? So there has to be something that he's standing on. So as the Attorney General came to say that bring it out, then we are waiting on A plus to bring it out. Because we need to know what it is. And usually I would have said, oh, I wouldn't want to see my leaders fighting on, but we asked for accountability and transparency. If this is what accountability and transparency looks like, where we are looking at the good, the bad, and the ugly, we asked for it, so we cannot complain. So let's see it plain as day, what you are talking about, as the evidence you have. Let's see it. Or what do you think? This is a conversation, like I always say, let me know in the comments what you think. So, like I said, this is just going to be a very brief discussion. I'm laying the facts out to you. Argue it out in the comments. My name is Nelson Kofi. This is the News Square. Thank you for watching.